What's going on, everybody? This is Joe, and I am here live at Champion Card Collector in Poughkeepsie, New York, at the Lorwyn Eclipsed pre-release. And today, in addition to the other video that we're going to be putting out, which hopefully you've already seen, but if you haven't, I'll try to link it up in the top right-hand corner there for you. I'm going to be opening not one, but 3 different Lorwyn Eclipsed pre-release kits. I'm super excited for this. Obviously, well, maybe it's not obvious if you weren't aware. I have already opened a lot of this set, a lot of it. That was here at the store, for the store. Today, since it is Friday of pre-release, all of those cards, it went for sale today. It says here, every light casts a shadow. It's really cool. Look at that. I like that a lot. Here are the -1/-1 counters, right? These are usually +1/+1 counters. Got like a first strike counter and a lifelink counter. On the other side, you've got stun and flying, and -1/-1 for these as well, because we're going to need a lot of those in this set for sure. That's interesting. So it's the opposite symbol as this one, right? You can see that. Very cool. But all of them have this symbol. So I guess this symbol is on the inside, and I'm going to say this one is for Lorwyn because the sun is in the front of the moon, and this one's for Shadowmoor because the moon is in front of the sun. That's my guess. Let me know in the comments. I don't know. I don't have the inside track on this one. Oh, okay, and then that makes sense because then this, as Shadowmoor, is the opposite of this, which I guess is Lorwyn, right? All of that makes sense to me. If it doesn't make sense to you, tell me your thoughts down below. I only have to show off these kits once. The insides, I should say, because then you'll see all of the, they'll all be the same going forward. But yeah, I already opened a bunch of this set for Champion. Like I said, those cards are already up for sale, or have been up for sale all day long today, pre-release day. And hopefully you got a chance to check out Champion's website. But if you didn't, the top link in the description down below will take you to their website. This place is great. We love coming here each and every pre-release. We've got the divider that you can use to separate your deck and your sideboard. Actually double-sided this time. Usually it's just like blank black on the other side. But I guess, with the dichotomy or the duality of Lorwyn and Shadowmoor, it kind of makes sense that it would be double-sided. That's really cool. And then the little insert that tells you how to build a pre-release deck. Pre-release, as I've always said, the best event, in my opinion, for new players in a limited format. And then on the other side, it talks about the draft archetypes. That is super helpful. Usually these are included in play booster boxes, which I guess makes sense as well if you're going to be drafting, but it's very helpful to have them in the pre-release kits too. So there you go, and this cool piece of art here. We'll leave those on the side. And again, those I now don't have to show anymore. You saw the packs already. That's what we're here for today. But also, our promo foil rare is Brigid, Clachen's Heart. That's awesome, and you can see that she flips into Brigid Dune's Mind, as the draft archetypes would have shown you if you paused and took a look at it. Brigid is a Kithkin, and in fact the Kithkin colors are green and white, so maybe we can play a Kithkin deck. Usually what I try to do with these openings is talk about what I would play if this was a kit that I opened for an actual pre-release event. So, join me in giving your opinions in the comments down below. Whether you agree with what I say, whether you have different feelings, I want to know about it. So please let me know. But we start with a Scarblade Scout. We have an Aquitect's Defenses. I like that card, by the way. Aquitect's Defenses quite a bit. Unforgiving Aim. This one's not bad. I mean, obviously it does a lot of different things. Destroys a creature with flying, destroys an enchantment, or you make an elf. So like if you have an elf deck that's part green, this can just go in no matter what. And honestly, if you are playing in a regular pre-release, you're going to be playing in best of 3. So you can side this in, but this is in the arena world of best of 1, where they try to give you these cards where you don't feel so badly playing them. Even if your opponent doesn't end up having an enchantment and or a creature with flying, you can still at least get an elf out of this thing and not feel too badly about it. You've got a Shore Lurker. I mean, flying is always very helpful. We've got an Elder Auntie if we're doing a goblin deck. That's good. Chaos Spewer, speaking of goblins. Very nice. We have a Marrow Sky Swimmer. Blue-white is Merfolk, so there we go. We have Bold Weir Aggressor is our first uncommon and one of the giants. Not one of the typal decks that the set recommends that you play, but still, giants are pretty cool. And like I said, our first uncommon, we have Voracious Tome Skimmer as a fairy rogue. Not bad. I like this card quite a bit. And an Encumbered Regery, or Regery. I don't quite know how to pronounce that, but here we are. And that's an interesting one. And then if people are unfamiliar with play booster packs, after the first 3 uncommons, we could have another uncommon, we could have a rare, a mythic. There's a lot of different options, but let's see what we have here. We have... Wow. Okay, what a start. We have a mythic in Glenalendra's Answer. This is a very good card. I like this one quite a bit. I mean, you know, it's a little expensive, but sure, it's a mythic for a reason. And I mean, obviously, like, countering like a stack of things, right, isn't typically something that's going to happen in Limited as much, but it's not unheard of. And this card is pretty cool nonetheless. And I'm glad I have a mythic, so that's nice. And then behind it, though, we have something else, don't we? Yeah, that's really cool. So we have an alt art Disruptor of Currents. And I mean, in the same pack as this, it feels like blue's good, huh? That's really nice. Flash, Convoke, and bounce something when it enters. That's really, really nice. And that's just a second rare. After that, we're going to have a foil. It's also part blue, and it is Flaring Cinder, but it is a foil common, but it's still very pretty. Look at that. I like that foil. It looks really nice. And obviously, with hybrid cards, right, if we're playing like blue-white or something, for example, we could still play this card. It just would be double blue, that's all. But that's really, really cool. But, to be fair, this is an elemental. In the blue-red deck, casting spells with mana value 4 or greater, that's what that deck wants to be doing, so it might not necessarily fit into a blue and X non-red strategy. But, to be fair, both of the other 2 like really good cards that we opened in this pack were mana value 4 or greater, so that's something to think about. Behind Flaring Cinder, our land, oh my god, sick. Okay, is a foil full art forest. Now, when I did the big opening for the store, right, we opened collector boosters, so we knew we were going to get a bunch of these. So even when we opened them in play boosters, it wasn't that big of a deal, but these are my cards now. So I'm very happy to have opened a foil full art land as our first basic, as our first land. So that's really cool. And we have a Merfolk / Shapeshifter. God, that thing's so weird looking. I love it. Okay, pack 2. Also, I noted when we did that big opening that they finally have made it so that play boosters have different arts on them. So far, both of the ones that I've opened have had the same art, but you'll see in a moment, trust me. Burning Curiosity is first. Scarblade's Malice. A Gallant Foul Knight. A Blossom Bind. I like this card a lot, and I mean, hey, our blue seems really good so far. We have a Safe Right Cavalry. Prideful Feastling. So again, these shapeshifters, right, this is white and black, so if we went Kithkin, right, because of the Brigid, which would be white and green, we could absolutely still play this, and of course, because it has Changeling, it counts as a Kithkin, so any of the cards that we have that benefit us for having multiple Kithkin, this would help us out quite a bit, so something to keep an eye out for. We have a Chitinous Graspling, again, kind of same argument, right? If we're doing like a Merfolk strategy, this would count as a Merfolk and could be cast for blue and not green, which would be great. Springleaf Drum is our first uncommon if we end up splashing something, which is not unheard of in this set for sure. This could help us out quite a bit with that. Plus, the Merfolk deck does care about you tapping... like when a Merfolk becomes tapped, and this would work for that because you would tap it and then tap an untapped creature you control. So even if you aren't able to attack and you want to get an ability off with one of your Merfolk, this is a cool way of getting that done. We have a Creekwood Safe Right as well. Not a bad card for elves and in general. And a Rime Chill. Very nice. Costs 1 less for each color among permanents we control. So, again, if you have, like, off-color hybrids, like we were talking about with the green-blue card, if we played that in a blue-white deck, let's say, for Merfolk, that still counts as 2 colors, right? Counts as the green and the blue. And so if you have a white card as well, that's a 3rd color. So something to be aware of for stuff like Vivid. Especially because this is a little expensive at 7, but it's still a good card. And so if you can get like an incidental 3rd color or something like that, or if you're going with fixing like with Springleaf Drum, this could be quite helpful. Behind our 3rd uncommon, a rare in Dream Harvest. My god, yeah. Blue seems good, huh? Double blue, especially once you're up to 7 mana, is not going to be difficult, right? If this were just double blue or double black or some mixture thereof, it might be a little bit harder if we're playing, 2 colors or more. But yeah, this seems very, very good. I like this card. We used it during the streamer event. If you're unaware, we did do the streamer event as well. That was 9.5 hours of playing of this set and playing limited for this set. So if you haven't checked that out, I'll link that up at the top right-hand corner for you as well, up here somewhere. So you can go check that out in your spare time if you have some. Behind this, we have another rare that can also be played as blue in Tam Mindful First Year. This card's incredible as well. Oh my god. Okay, that's awesome. And our foil, okay, is a foil uncommon in black, but still very gorgeous. My god. A lot of times the complaints that my wife and I, Amy, have with foil black cards is that a lot of times they're just too dark, right? Because it's like a darker picture in general. This one looks really, really good in foil, though. Look at that. I love that. Okay. Gnarlback Elm. Our land is a regular plains, although, I mean, just in general, right, land arts, I feel like are pretty consistently gorgeous, and this one does not disappoint. In foil, it does look really nice, though, I will say. And a Kithkin/elf token. Not bad. The tokens are relevant in a lot of these cases, a lot of these, sets. Oh, here, see? Did I show it off well? There's the second art. There are 3 artworks that could be on the packs. And so far, you've seen 2 of 3. We have Crossroads Watcher. Here's an example of a Kithkin. We have an Enraged Flamecaster. An Auntie's Sentence. Not a bad card at all. We have a Wander Wine Distractor. So here's an example when this creature becomes tapped, right? So this is like what the merfolk want to be doing. This guy's fine, in my opinion. He also notably is mana value 4 or greater. So there are those elementals that are part blue that care about that. So if you have some incidental elementals that make it in there, like that blue-red hybrid card that we saw, this would help with that as well. So it is something to consider. We have a Wander Brine Preacher. So here's another one that when it becomes tapped and is a merfolk. Changeling Wayfinder, another great way to help yourself out if you need fixing, if you're splashing a 3rd color or something like that. This is colorless. It is a 3-mana 1/2, but it is a changeling, so it does get the benefits of all of your typal-based strategies, but it lets you go get a basic. Ooh, my god. Wow, this kit, huh? A special guest Goblin Sharpshooter. Wow, wow, wow. So this is, for folks that maybe have never done a pre-release before or aren't aware, just because this is a special guest, we can still use this in our pre-release kit. Or I should say in our pre-release when we play, with the cards that we've opened. This is something we opened, so you just get lucky. Does it work in the kit that we have presently, at least that we've seen so far? No. But if it did, we could use it. So it's something to be aware of. Plus, we just got, a very cool card. I'm a big fan of that, and that's after our commons, but before our uncommons. But we start our uncommons very well with an Eclipsed Marrow. Now, notably, if we're not in if we're not in white, I should say, this might actually be pretty difficult to play. So this is kind of what I was talking about, right? This would have to be triple blue if we're like blue and red or something, so that we can play Goblin Sharpshooter. That would be a little tough. But thankfully, if we're playing Merfolk, blue and white, this would probably just get in. It's a great card, and if we have like a bunch of Merfolk and or plains and islands, like this card's just great. Really, really good. We have an Eclipsed Elf. I mean, kind of same argument, right? But, this kit is really pointing us in the merfolk direction, so there's that. But still, cool card nonetheless. And our second uncommon, and Dawn Blessed Pennant. I mean, look, when we can play merfolk, gain a life, and then sack it and get a merfolk from our graveyard back to our hand, this is not as good, I think, as an artifact uncommon that cares about your creature types as the stones. I forget what it's called, but if we get one, I'll talk about it. I don't think it's as good as the stones, but it's still a cool card. It's 1 mana, as opposed to, I think the stones is like 3 or 4 or something like that. But still, behind our third uncommon, we have another uncommon in Twin Flame Travelers. So again, if we're splashing red or something, like obviously this is like the card for the Elementals deck, because it cares about triggered abilities of other elementals, but it's also a 3/3 flyer, so like it's a little tougher if you're splashing for this, right? Because I feel like if you can't play this until like turn 5 or 6 or something because you're off of your 3rd color, or your splash color in red, then this card maybe falls off a little bit more because it's a 4-mana 3/3 flyer. So in and of itself, that's kind of at parity of where you want it to be. If you can play it on curve, that's pretty great. If you can't, and you're playing it in a non-elemental deck, this might be a little bit tougher to justify. But of course, you can let me know in the comments if you disagree. And then we have a Champion of the Weird. Okay. That doesn't quite work with the other things that we've been seeing, but it's still a cool card. Obviously cares about goblins, and it itself is a goblin. We haven't really been seeing, I mean, besides like, Goblin Sharpshooter is cool and all, but we haven't really seen like a lot of like goblin-based things in this kit so far, but still cool to have this rare. We also have a foil black uncommon again, right? That's our second one of those. Oh, it's so gorgeous. And I really love this art because he's so sad. I just want to give him a hug. Look how sad he is. Grave Shifter. Foil uncommon. Great card too, but really looks awesome in foil. I love that. Our land is a full art island. You are damn right it is. That is awesome too. And a Kithkin / elf token. We are halfway through this kit. And we have a Boggart Prankster. Speaking of goblins, we have a Boggart Prankster. We have a Summit Sentinel. Something else that I discovered, like with commons and uncommons, maybe just in general, but it could also be, rares and mythics and stuff too. But there are a million 2-drops in the set. Just a million of them. And we just opened 2 in a row. Here's the third. Timid Shield Bearer. Bears are good and limited, right? 2-mana 2/2s, but like they are everywhere, man. Everywhere in the set. Crossroads Watcher again. Enraged Flamecaster again. This is looking familiar. Auntie's Sentence. Good one. Chaos Spewer. More goblin-y things. Vine Bred Brawler as our first uncommon. Elves are very good in this format, I will say. Very, very good. Kindle the Inner Flame. I love this art so much. I'd love to have it in foil. It's incredible. And a Pyrrhic Strike. There is a lot of removal in limited, or in limited. Wow, in white. There's a lot of removal in white. So this is very cool. Our next card after our uncommons is a rare in Hexing Squelcher. There are a lot of people that like this card, huh? Okay, good to know. I mean, this card seems insane, by the way. Like, that's why a lot of people like it. It's also a goblin. We were talking about our red. I don't think it can pull us away from blue. I just don't. But it is very cool. We could play red-blue, but I just don't see it. But anyway, this is really cool to have this card in general. The colors are incredible, and obviously the effect is insane. Behind it, ooh, another Champion of the Weird. Okay. I mean, hey, it's really trying to make itself stand out, huh? Okay. Interesting. The first half was like all blue, and the second half is like play goblins. Our foil is a foil blue common in Blossom Bind. I really like this card. I love that it says that it can't have counters put on it, because otherwise the card that gets locked down by this, it would be super easy to like make that the blight target and just put a bunch of -1/-1 counters on it until it dies. And the fact that you can't do that is something that they really thought this out. Like, you can tell that they tested that and thought of that ahead of time, because that's really good. We have a regular island, although I do love this art. Really, really love it. And a Kithkin / elf. I feel like we've seen that a million times. 2 more packs to go. And now we have, it was consistently 2 of each of the arts on the packs, right? I showed you all 5 of them so far, and I'll spoil you. The last pack has the same art as I just showed you. We have a Gilt-Leaf's Embrace. I like this card a lot. A Tweeze. Yes, good one. Good removal. A Blighted Blackthorn. Okay, this isn't a bad card. An Unexpected Assistance. Okay, yeah, I mean, card draw is helpful, and I mean, we're talking about how good blue is. Keep Out. More removal in white, like I was saying. Lyssalana Informant. Good for the elf deck. Foraging Wickermaw. I'm not a huge fan of this one. I guess it's fine. And if you need the filtering, it's fixing to a degree, but it's filtering, then this could get in if you're kind of desperate for it, I would say. I'm not a big fan, but you can let me know in the comments if you disagree. We have a Kulrath Zealot as an elemental. We have a Creekwood Saferite again as our first uncommon, more elves. A Blossoming Defense as our second. This one's good. I like this card. And a Voracious Tome Skimmer again as our third uncommon. Interesting. Our next card after our uncommons is a rare in Goliath Daydreamer. Really moving in the black-red direction in the latter half of this kit, I gotta tell you. Super interesting. Okay, behind it, our foil is a foil. He's so cute. Is a foil common in Changeling Wayfinder again. Interesting. All right, we got one more pack to go. Here is a regular island again with that art that I enjoy, and a stand-in card for a double face card if you're not playing with sleeves. See, like I said, this art again. There's stuff going on in the store, so I apologize for the noise in the background, but it is fine. I'm going to keep going. Of course there's stuff going on in the store. There's always stuff going on in the store. We have another Unexpected Assistance. This is a great card. We have a Reluctant Dune Guard for another Kithkin. We have a Bone Club Berserker, if we're looking at goblins. +2/+2 for each other goblin we control, huh? Another Lyssalana Informant. Bog Slither's Embrace. This is a very good card. Very, very good. Temporal Cleansing, not bad. Not as good as the last card that we just saw, but not bad. We have another Kolrath Zealot. Another Gnarlback Element. It's our first uncommon. We had this one in foil earlier. We have another Blossoming Defense. My God. And a Sting Slinger, which is another goblin. Super interesting. I think you all are going to have to help me out here because I'm not quite sure what we're going to do. And after our uncommons, we have a rare in Champion of the Klatchin. I don't think this kit supports Kithkin. I think it's either merfolk or goblins or some mixture thereof if we wanted to go like red-blue or something because we got so many red and blue like rares or whatever. But cool nonetheless that we got this one. Behind it, our next rare or mythic is Marilyn Fey Ascendant. I don't think I could make this one work in this kit. It is blue, black, green, and I noted how good our blue and our red was, but that is not this. And she is an elf fairy noble, so if we were in elves, right, black and green are elves, we could just splash blue for this, and that'd be really cool, but that is, again, not this kit, at least not what we've seen so far. So a cool card, happy to have it, but not going to be using it. And our foil is a foil common in Auntie's Sentence. I said when we did our big opening, I like this card in foil. It's a little understated, but it's pretty cool. I think it's really cool. Behind it is a Full Art Forest, non-foil this time, but still awesome, and a Kithkin / elf. We've seen, again, a lot of those. So, yeah, in this first kit, I need your help, I think. Am I playing blue? Am I playing, like blue and something? Am I playing goblins in red and green? We got 2 Champion of the Weird, and we got a Hexing Squelcher. And we got that Goblin Sharpshooter. So, like, are we supposed to be going goblins? Or, with all of this blue in Glenelinder's Answer, Disruptor of Currents, Dream Harvest, Tam, as well as all the other awesome blue cards that we opened, are we supposed to be going blue and something? And is it blue-white for Merfolk? Is it blue and red, maybe, or something like that? I want to know from you. Let me know. Hey, say, like, hey, Kit 1, I would do this, or whatever. Kit 2, like I said, no need to, like, show off the art and stuff like that, because we did that already. So let's just get into it, shall we? We have another blue D20. Interesting. Okay. It's an odd choice. We go ahead and go with the packs here. And as you can see, our promo foil rare is Lava Leaper. This is an interesting one. It is an elemental. All creatures have haste. Note that means your opponent as well. But whenever a player taps a basic for mana, it adds 1 mana of any type that land produced. Again, that's for you and your opponent. So just be aware of that. But it is a 4 mana 4/4 haste, and it means that anything else that you played that turn also has haste. So if you really feel like you can make like a super fast deck and want that to be the top end of it or so, go for it. But otherwise, just be aware that you're helping your opponent there as well. Blight Rot is a very good removal spell. Very, very nice. Whoops. I just drop a stack of cards on you. Sorry. We have a Kolrath Mystic, another elemental, notably, right? Elemental wants to be red and blue, so that's good. A Tributary Vaulter, Gilt Leaf's Embrace, I like this card. Tweeze again, solid removal. A Gravel Gill Scoundrel. A Marrow Sky Swimmer, more merfolk. A Warren Torchmaster as our first uncommon. It is red, but does want to be in goblins, because it is a goblin, as opposed to in the elemental deck like I was talking about before, but still a good red card. A Spell Snare. I have to say, in Limited, I'm not a big fan of this card, but I did mention there are a million 2-drops in this set, like a million of them. So in this set in particular, Spell Snare might not be too bad. I won't lie. Again, let me know your thoughts in the comments. And a Flock Imposter. Again, this can be any creature type that we need it to be, because it is all creature types. Behind our uncommons, we have another uncommon in Reaping Willow. Okay, so once best in white-black, but if you're in black X or white X, you could still play it. It's just not super easy. But and it's also not a relevant creature type for this set. There are some other tree folk in here, but not a lot. But our rare or mythic now is an Endblaze Epiphany. This art is really cool. Plus, I mean, we got some good red so far, right? X damage to a creature, and we can steal cards, or not steal cards, but get cards from the top of our library and play that card until the end of our next turn. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Our foil. Oh, God, yes. I'm so happy to have this in foil. So happy. Look at this art. Look at it in foil. Shine Striker. So good. Amazing. Super happy to have that. And it's a blue uncommon foil. We have a full art island. Yes. And an elf / treasure. Okay, so new kit, new, maybe, new type of token. We'll see. Ooh, a second Blightrot. That's really hard to ignore. We have another Kulrath Mystic. Okay, stuff's looking familiar. Tributary Vaulter. Guiltleaf's Embrace. Another Tweeze. All right, well, lots of duplicates. Chaos Spewer. That's a new one for this kit. Gravelgill, I think it is. Gravelgill Scoundrel, though, isn't. But Bark of Doran is. In fact, that's our first one today that we've opened of this, so I know that for a fact. This card's fine. This is like kind of the tree folky type stuff, right? We have a Dundulin Weaver. I really like this card a lot. I think it's very good. And we have a Darkness Descends. I mean, if you need that board wipe, this is it. And to go with those Blightrots, right? Good card. Which means our next card is a Slumbering Walker. More giants. I was talking about giants. It's not like a fully supported thing, but there are a good number of them in here. So there's that. Behind Slumbering Walker, we have a High Perfect Morcant. Okay, so this wants to be in elves, right? It literally is the elf colors. It is itself an elf. Okay, and our foil is a foil giant and an uncommon in Pummeler for Hire. Okay, interesting. We were leaning towards red. I don't know if we still are. We'll have to see. Another full art island and a Kithkin / treasure. Okay, leaning towards treasure in this one, it seems, for whatchamacallit, for tokens at least. We have a Timid Shield Bearer. We have a Crossroads Watcher. Enraged Flamecaster. I feel like we haven't seen a lot of elemental support since we talked about it with, like, Lava Leaper, although, I guess, whatever. We've gotten the two, like, blue elementals. Auntie Sentence again. Wanderwine Distractor again. I know not for this kit, but still. Wanderwine Preacher again. Spiral into Solitude. First one of those we've seen, but like I said, a lot of removal in white. A lot of it. Wary Farmer. Good for the Kithkin deck. Otherwise, it's fine. Unbury. Not bad at all, and it's our first uncommon. We have Unwelcome Sprite as our second. And Chomping Changeling as the third. This feels like one that you would probably just side in because it destroys an artifact or enchantment, but otherwise it's a 3-mana 1/2. Again, is relevant for all creature types. So, like, if you're in green pretty heavily and you, like, know that you could support your elves or something with it, or your Kithkin, then maybe, but still, it feels like this is a sideboard card, in my opinion. Behind our uncommons, we have a rare in Tristan, Callous Cultivator, notably with Tristan right after High Perfect Morcant. Interesting. Tristan, by the way, flips into Tristan Penitent Color. It's very nice. I like this one. We also have a Gravelgill Scoundrel foil common. Obviously, we've seen this card a couple of times, but not in foil. It looks really cool, I won't lie. Behind it, a regular island with the art that I enjoy, and a Merfolk / worm. This art I do not enjoy. That worm makes me very uncomfortable. All right, bottom half of this box. We finished the first half. Let's go to the second. we have another Unexpected Assistance. I think it's the first one for this kit, though. We had 2 in the last one. Keep Out, more white removal. We have Lissalana Informant. I mean, it's possible that we're going elves now, or at least we want to keep an eye out on them. Bone Club Berserker. Bog Slither's Embrace. Yeah, that works with elves. Wary Farmer also could work in the green-black deck, but I don't know that we need it. Flaring Cinder, something to keep track of if we, can tilt back towards elementals. Kith Keeper. I have found every time this card came up that I didn't think it was good enough. I mean, it makes a bunch of Kithkin, right? But it itself is an elemental, and elementals are blue in the blue-red deck. So maybe if you were going blue-red-white, but like the Kithkin are white-green, so this is really tough. This is a tough one to try to justify, I feel like. But that's our first uncommon. We have Vinebred Brawler for our second, and that's an elf. Very nice. And Kindle the Inner Flame as our third, and it is a Kindred elemental. So if you have stuff that like cares about elemental cards in your graveyard or something like that, like this could still work for that. Quite nice. And our next card is a Kin Binding. This one also, it cares about Kithkin, right? Every turn you make a Kithkin, but it just also works for any really go-wide strategy. So something to be aware of. I mean, I think if we're toying between elemental and elves, this kind of doesn't work for us, but it's still a cool card. Behind it, another rare or mythic. Yes, we have Bree of Clan's Stout Arm. Okay, so I mean, if maybe this is trying to tell us that it wants red and white instead of red and blue, that's something to think about, huh? And our foil, oh my god. Wow, it's a foil rare in Tristan, Callous Cultivator. It may seem like I'm repeating myself because we have a non-foil Tristan as well, and it is Tristan Penitent Color in foil on the other side. That is insane. I love that. Okay, well, with 2 Tristans and a High Perfect, we got another Plains and a Merfolk / Shapeshifter. That's a little tough to ignore, I can't lie. Obviously, Tristan is legendary, so we would not be able to have both on the field at the same time, but that is the type of card that your opponent is probably going to want to get off the field pretty quickly, so having 2 of them would be quite nice, like a backup to play if they kill the first one. We have a Brambleback Brute, a Scarblade's Malice, this is another good one for the elf deck, a Blossom Bind, Gallant Foul Knight, Safe Right Cavalry, more elves, beautiful, Rooftop Percher, again, Shapeshifter can work for anything, Feisty Spikeling, also a Shapeshifter, and would work in this red-white strategy that we were talking about a bit. Flock Imposter, same argument or conversation. Another Reaping Willow is our second uncommon. And a Seer, very nice, is the third. Okay, all right. We may have to look at our removal, right? Because there's a lot of removal in white and red, but there's a lot of like synergy in green and black. It depends on what we want. Behind our uncommons, we have another uncommon in Pestered Wellguard. Very nice. And our rare or mythic is a rare in Goliath Daydreamer again. A lot of giants in this kit in red. Not bad at all, because we have Bree from before as well. Our foil is a foil common merfolk in Wanderbrine Preacher. This card is not that great in foil. It's fine, right, in the middle there, but it's not amazing. We then have a foil non-full art mountain that is absolutely beautiful. My god, that's pretty. And a Kithkin / Treasure. We have one more pack in our second of 3 kits. One more. And it contains another Enraged Flame Caster, an Anti-Sentence again, Summit Sentinel, a Wanderbrine Preacher, Tend the Sprigs, first one of those we've seen today, I think, Wary Farmer, not bad, whoops, a Stalactite Dagger. By the way, the Tend the Sprigs cares about getting basics. If we were playing elves and we were just black and green, I don't think we would need it. Stalactite Dagger, I'm not a huge fan of this one. I think it's fine. Dundulin Weaver, I think these could go in the elf deck regardless, because it gets us back other elves, and the elf deck wants to be milling, so you would end up being able to get something back that got milled to your graveyard that you didn't want into your graveyard, and or something that died, so like this is a good one to include for sure. That's our first uncommon. Darkness Descends again, yes please, and Warren Torchmaster again is our third uncommon, which means our next card is another Spell Snare, that was from our first kit, but still. And our rare or mythic is a Champions of the Shoal. For this kit, this is not helpful. Last kit, this would have been great. Another rare or just our foil? Just our foil, but another Blight Rot. That's insane. That's 3 Blight Rots, one of which is foil. Yeah, I think we really have to go Elves here. Elves was very strong when we saw it in the streamer event, and this kit is really kitted out for it. Yeah, you're welcome. We have a full art forest as well, and a Kithkin / Elf. But with all the red cards that we opened, right? Lava Leaper and Blaze Epiphany. There's, I know this isn't a red card, Kin Binding and Bree of Clan Stoutarm and the Goliath Daydreamer. Maybe you disagree, and maybe you think we should be playing red in some capacity instead, and I'd like to know that. Oh, and then Slumbering Walker as well. I'd like to know that in the comments down below, but otherwise, I feel like it's these, right? Plus the Blight Rots and things like that. But you let me know your thoughts, and otherwise, let's go to Kit 3. Okay, as promised, the last one. Third of 3. Oh, these things don't like me. There we go. The second one worked perfectly. The first one gave me issues, and this one gave me issues. Oh my God. Why? Oh man, that is a little unfortunate that we have all 3 of these now. Okay, well anyway, whatever. I'll trade for those, don't you worry. We got more events to play in this weekend that we're not recording, so we will check those out. We'll try to get some. But hey, guess what? We still have, after these packs go away, our promo foil rare in Reese the Evermore. Notably, an elf in white, but still very cool in foil. So there's something, but I don't know. I don't know about this one. We'll see. So yeah, I don't know how to feel about that one, but I guess we'll see what these packs have in store for us. Oh, we have Dream Caesar as our first card. Wanderwine Distractor. Liminal Hold. Okay, all the removal in white, right? Dawn's Light Archer. Not bad, not bad. It's an elf as well. Burning Curiosity. Okay. Gangly Stompling. This one's very good. We learned that during the streamer event. This card is tough to deal with. Chitinous Graspling, another one. Very, very good. These shapeshifters putting in some good work. Kindle the Inner Flame is our first uncommon. Rhymekin Recluse is the second. And Pyrrhic Strike is the third. Okay. You know what? The Blight on this, combined with Reese the Evermore, with Reese allowing us to remove any number of counters from target creature that we control, like, that's not too bad, right? Giving Persist is like whatever, but the helping with removing counters, if we have to blight things to be able to do beneficial stuff, that's pretty good. Behind this card, our next card is a rare in Sig's Command. You know what? I mean, this is a Merfolk colors, right? But we've already seen some good white removal and Reese the Evermore. So maybe we'll make it work. Let's see. But this is I love this art so much. I know Amy thinks that the this Reese, the Lorwyn Reese, or not Reese. Sorry, this is Sig. Reese is over here. So anyway, this Sig looks like a clown, is what Amy thinks. So let us know your thoughts as well. I think we have another rare mythic here. We do. It's another Hexing Squelcher. I've heard this card's pretty good. Super happy to have 2 of them. That's really nice. And our foil. Whoa. Okay. I guess this kit wanted to be a duplicate of the first kit. We got our foil, which was our promo foil. And in fact, notably, is this true? We were talking about, I saw some people talking about this. Yeah, the promos aren't stamped anymore. Right? So these 2 cards are exactly the same. Exactly the same. They're both just foil. No specialty to the foil. No stamp for the promo versus non-promo. So these are literally, we just got a duplicate of this card. But anyway, we have Brigid, and then as you saw, we have Brigid Dune's Mind. Okay. Well, that's something, I guess. We have a Swamp full art and a Merfolk / Shapeshifter. Let me know about your thoughts on that. I mean, I've opened, I forgot, I haven't said this in a while, I feel like, but I am the person that has opened more pre-release kits than anybody else here on YouTube, and the disappointing thing is, like, I don't love that the promos aren't stamped anymore. That makes me a little sad, I won't lie. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you care? Do you not care? Tell me. Let me know. We have an Unexpected Assistance, a Reluctant Dune Guard. Okay, there might be a possibility for Kithkin in this one. Who knows? A Bone Club Berserker, Lyssalana Informant, Bog Slither's Embrace, solid removal. A Chaos Spewer, again, we've seen a lot of these. Moonglove Extractor, we have not seen a lot of these. A Perfect Intimidation is our first uncommon. Not a bad card. We have a Thought Weft Charge. Any green deck, this should go in. Very much so. We have a Thought Weft Imbuer. I really like this card. I really do. And it cares about the number of Kithkin, so yeah, we could maybe go in that direction. Who knows? And an Unwelcome Sprite again, which means our next card is a Bloodline Bidding. Okay, that is an interesting one. A little expensive, but it has Convoke. And if we're in a typal-based creature deck, we could Convoke this out. And this is a really good card. Really, really good card. Our next is a foil. Wow, 2 foil rares in the same kit. I mean, obviously 3 if you count the promo, but like pack foil rares. That's awesome. Okay, and it's a Deepway Navigator. This is a pretty good card. You do have to have attacked with 3 or more merfolk, but this is the same kit that we got a Sig's Command in, so not impossible to play those colors. Not bad, not bad. We have a Full Art Island as well, and a merfolk / worm token. Also, notably, if we were to want to go Kithkin, right, you could splash for well, actually, I should say if we want to go merfolk, we could splash for some Kithkin stuff, like Brigid's Flip, I should say. Because obviously you could play this card in a white-blue deck. It's just that you wouldn't be able to flip her if you don't have the green. And then, you know, when she flips, she does add green or white. And it is just other creatures in general, not specifically other Kithkin. And then you would just transform her back with the white, but then she makes more Kithkin. So, yeah, there are options here. We have a Bile Vile Boggart. That's a fun one. I love the name, obviously. It's great. Silver Gill Peddler. That's a cool one. This art is awesome, and the ability is really good. A Gold Meadow Nomad. Yes, please. More Kithkin. A Kithkin that exiles into a Kithkin. I was going to say dies into one, but you can get it later regardless. We have an Heirloom Auntie. Not bad, this card. A Great Forest Druid. Our first one of the entire video out of 3 kits. Are you kidding? This card's very good and very helpful with fixing, obviously. It's a Mana Dork. Really good one, too. I'm surprised it's our first one. A Mist Meadow Council. Yes, this should get in if we're playing Kithkin. Very, very good card. Draws a card when it enters, too. Not bad. A Gravel Gill Scoundrel again. Prismatic Undercurrents. First one of these we've seen as well. And it's our first uncommon. If we are splashing a 3rd color, this gets even better with Vivid, right? Can go get a bunch of basics, put them into our hand and shuffle, and we can play an additional land on each of our turns. This has worked really well for us in the Elves deck because there are some of the rares like Tristan, right, cares about... Is it Tristan specifically that cares about you having... No, I think there's another rare in Elves that I don't remember the name of, unfortunately. You can always remind me in the comments, but that's the one that cares about the number of lands that you have, like in your graveyard or something like that. So, like having extras in your hand and then being able to discard them and stuff. So this is like a combo piece. I don't otherwise, like if you really want to thin out your deck, I suppose. But this card is fine. We have a Kinsbale Aspirant. Very good. That is another Kithkin. I love it. And again, this is the one that you can behold a Kithkin or pay an extra 2. So you get a Kithkin on the field, one in your hand, whatever. That's really nice. And then behind it, our next card is a Noggle the Mind. That is very funny because Noggle are the donkey people. Very cool. And so our rare or mythic is a... Oh, I lied. Did I miscount our uncommons? I did not. No, I did. My bad. So yes, this is our 4th uncommon, and it is a Mud Button Curse Tosser. Okay, not bad. Interesting. But now, sorry, our rare or mythic is... First Shockland of the video. Interesting. Took us this long as well. But it's an Overgrown Tomb. Not a bad card. I have always said I don't love opening rare lands in pre-release kits, or at least when I'm playing in pre-release. because typically you're playing 2 colors, even if you're splashing a third. Like if you don't really have fixing, like the rare lands aren't the things that I want to be able to try to help me cast my spells. I'd rather have like impactful spells or creatures, etc. But I, as a collector, am very happy to have this version of Overgrown Tomb. I, of course, have many Overgrown Tombs for all the packs and stuff that I've opened over the years, but still, here is an Overgrown Tomb. If you want to see more of these, you should watch that big opening video that I should have linked up at the top for you before. Behind it, we have our foil. Yes, is Appeal to Airdew, and of course, it is gorgeous. My God, gorgeous common foil. Look at that. Very nice. Okay. And not a bad card. I mean, obviously, it's got Convoke. That's kind of what Kithkin want to be doing, is going wide. We've got a Full Art Island. Nice. And a Goblin / Treefolk. First one of those we've seen today. Then we have this pack, which has another Appeal to Airdew. The first one we saw was that foil, and now we have a second one. Cool. Surly Farrier. First one of these we've seen as well. And it's a Kithkin. Really feels like we're going Kithkin, huh? And then, again, maybe splashing blue for Deepway Navigator, Sig's command specifically. But Surly Farrier's a good one. Cinder Strike. Okay. Not bad, not bad. Barbed Bloodletter. I don't know how I feel about this card. I guess it's fine. Like, giving something Wither until end of turn is cool, but then just the +1/+2 for 2 mana, I'm not so sure. Obviously, in the Elves deck, where you can, like, kind of be recycling your graveyard over and over again, if you're, like, putting this on expendable creatures and, like, turning them sideways, or, I guess, leaving them back on blocks, but, like, you know, that feels a lot better with this type of a card. Wild Unraveling. Yes, please. I don't think we would be able to splash this if we're splashing blue, but, especially because of the double blue, but good counterspell. Marrow Sky Swimmer. We could decide if we're playing this or not. I mean, if we're trying to put in the Deepway Navigator, this is a really good one for that, because we don't need to use the blue splash for this. We could just play this for double white, especially if we're waiting till turn 5. It makes a second Merfolk along with itself, and it's flying and Convoke, or flying and Vigilance, and it has Convoke. So if we're going wide, that's super helpful. So, like, all around, this is not a bad card to include in a Kithkin deck where we may be splashing blue for some Merfolk synergies. A Foraging Wickermaw, I already talked about not loving this card, with a Glisterbairn. Okay, I mean, obviously, you know, this is another card that is triple green if we want it to be in just green-white, but if we're splashing blue, also a fair one, and it's got Vivid, so we could have then 3 colors among permanents we control. Not a bad one at all. We have a Grave Shifter as our second uncommon. I mean, again, black, we've had some good, like, black cards so far, but I don't think that's really the direction that we're leaning in. But, oh, he's so sad. I love him. I love him. And we have a Puka's Eye. Okay, I mean, you know, the artifact is the color. We can draw a card. If we have 5 colors among permanents we control, that's probably not going to happen, so probably not with this card. Our next card is another uncommon in Boulder Dash. We're not really looking at red, unfortunately, but this is a cool card. One of our opponents got us so hard with this during the streamer event. It was pretty devastating, I won't lie. And our next rare or mythic is another Goliath Daydreamer. This card loves this. What do we get? 1 per kit at this point? I mean, the card's fine, right? Like, it's not amazing, but it's not bad, and the art is adorable, so sure. We have 3 of them now. Behind it, our foil, yes, is a Mist Meadow Council again. I mean, hey, if we're in the Kithkin deck, having a second one of these is not terrible. Again, if it costs 1 less for each Kithkin, or for 1 less if we control a Kithkin, not for each Kithkin. That would be insane. But regardless, a 4-mana 4/3 draw card feels pretty good. And our land is a foil non-full art swamp, but it is gorgeous. Look at this art, man. I feel like, again, the land's just absolutely incredible. Welcome back to Lorwyn, everybody. We have a Merfolk and a Worm token. 2 more packs to go in the video. A lot less packs than the one that we did in the big opening, I won't lie. We have 10 the Sprigs. I mean, you know what? If we're splashing, I mean, this obviously could make a Treefolk late game if we get this, but also just in general, if we're splashing blue, I would probably put this in, especially because we haven't seen a lot of other, like, fixing-based things. We have a Reluctant Duneguard. Yes, please. Another one of those is great. Gristle Glutton. I love this art so much. He looks ridiculous, and I love him. A Boggart Prankster. More goblins. Summit Sentinel. Whoops. Hey, another Mist Meadow Council's good, but you know what? A Timid Shield Bearer is also good. I'll take them both, happily. That's awesome. Yeah, this Kithkin deck could be very nice. We have an Impolite Entrance. This guy was so impolite. How rude. Is this like a Here's Johnny situation? It kind of looks like it. We have a Lofty Dreams as our first uncommon. It's got Convoke. And, you know, +2/+2 in flying. I don't really like this card, I won't lie. It's fine, I guess. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. But that is our second uncommon. And we have a Wretched Wretch as our third. I genuinely don't think I've seen this card yet. Wow. Okay. Well, and it's a goblin, a 4/2 goblin. That's interesting, too. Again, I don't think we're playing it in this kit, but I'm happy to have it because I haven't seen this card yet. Which means our next card is a Lyssalana Dignitary. I mean, I don't think she gets in, only if there's an elf in our graveyard. We're not really going to be having that many elves going on. But in an elf deck, this card's obviously insane. And so our next rare or mythic is... Whoa, Jesus, a second Sigs command. Yeah, I think we should splash some blue, huh? Wow, that's really cool. Obviously, like, creating a token of a merfolk that we have, maybe not the best idea, or maybe not something that will likely happen, although I guess if you get lucky enough and can copy the Marrow or whatever, the one that when it enters makes another merfolk, like, that's not bad, right? But still, lifelink to all your things, draw a card, tap a thing, put a stun counter on it. Like, all these are good options, and you get to choose 2 of them. So that is really, really nice. Oh my god. Whoa. Okay. I mean, hey, you know what? It seems like they want us to do merfolk, but oh my god, this art is gorgeous in foil. Wow. That is so beautiful. I love that. That is absolutely incredible. In foil, that is crazy. It is an alt art, Eclipsed Marrow. I talked about this during the big opening. That face is real tough. Look at that face. It's so flat. It looks like it's been run over by a steamroller. I can't. Oh my god. All right, but that's a really cool card. So let's go with... I don't know. You let me know your thoughts. I guess I would play this, right? A plains or an island or a merfolk. Like, I don't know. For triple white and maybe we have the blue splash, I would consider it. I don't know if I would put it in. It's just very pretty. We have a regular mountain, still gorgeous art, and an elk. Ooh. Slash Mutavault token. The elk token could have a Mutavault on the other side, or the whatchamacallit, the Oko emblem, and we did not get the emblem, unfortunately. But our last pack of the entire video, of the third kit and of the entire video, starts with an Elder Auntie. We have another Blightrot. Yes, please. Good card. I mean, not for this kit, I guess, but we have a Kolrath Mystic, a Tributary Vaulter. Okay, I would probably put this in. You know, it's a 1/3 flyer. It's not terrible. Unforgiving Aim, I would definitely put this in. Definitely. A Reckless Ransacking. Look at that noggle. A Stalactite Dagger. Still don't love this card. It's fine. Okay. We have an Upside Down uncommon. Is the next card upside down too? It is not. So, I mean... Okay, we have a Vinebred Brawler. Does he get in? Probably... I don't know. He's a 4/2 that has to be blocked if able. That's not terrible. Maybe he's a sideboard card, but maybe he just gets in. We have a Springleaf Drum. Not bad. And again, if we're playing 3 colors, I would probably put this in. And a Creekwood Safe Right, which means our next card is a Champions of the Shoal. That's interesting. We'd have to behold a merfolk, and we might not have a lot of them if we're splashing. But we can tap something and put stun counters on it whenever it enters or becomes tapped on its own. And when it leaves the battlefield, we get the exiled creature back in its owner's hand. It's a 4/6 for 4. Like, that feels very good, but you have to have the merfolk. So, like, if we're splashing, that's really tough. I'd have to count my merfolk and, obviously, our shapeshifters as well, right? Because any shapeshifter / changeling that we have would be a merfolk as well. So I'd have to double check that. But if we're trying to be white and green, splashing blue for, like, two SIGs commands, like do we dip into Deepway Navigator and this, or do we not? That would kind of be our consideration at this point. Behind it, just our foil? No, we have another Champion of the Weird, and I say another because of the other packs, not because of this pack, or this kit, I should say. But still, I mean, a third one of this is very interesting on the day. 4 mana 5/5, huh? And then our last foil is a Rhymekin Recluse. Not bad. I mean, it's not like, you know, it's not getting into this particular kit, but it looks awesome in foil. I'll give you that. Look at that. Very pretty. And our land is a full art island and a replacement card for the double-faced cards. I mean, we opened a lot of cool stuff today, right? Like a lot of cool stuff. But I have to say, I know a lot of people are really excited about this Hexing Squelcher, and we did get 2 of them, but we also got a Goblin Sharpshooter. So, I mean, you know, is it all about the goblins? At least today it is. Look at that. Oh god, they're a little shiny. Is that better? That's much better. Look at that. It's like I've done this before or something. Anyway, thank you all so very much for watching. I want to remind you, because maybe you've forgotten, but hopefully you haven't, because hopefully you've been able to hear the kind of general excitement in the background behind me. I've been filming this entire video at a pre-release here at Champion Card Collector in Poughkeepsie, New York. What you should do, especially if you are anywhere near the Poughkeepsie, New York area, you should come on down to the store, of course. But if you can't, or if you want to check things out first, please don't forget that the top link in the description down below will take you to Champion's website. I also filmed I talked about the big video that I filmed here earlier in the week that came out the day before this video, or 2 days before this video came out. But also, I filmed another video here tonight watching all of the other cards that other people opened here at the pre-release and all the fun that everybody was having. And we talked a little bit about the set as well. If you haven't checked that video out, I should have linked it up at the top for you. Maybe it's here at the end over my words and over the cards and stuff. Who knows? But you'll have to check it out. Please don't forget, if you want to see more from us, to check out the links down in the description box below. We have 2 other channels, Video Games for All and Gluten Free for All. We also have our 2 Instagram accounts in Geek for All and Gluten Free for All. We'd love it if you'd follow us over there. If you want to join our community, we have a Discord link down below. You're more than welcome. We'd love to have you. And if you are interested in supporting our efforts further on our 3 channels and our 2 Instagrams and our Discord and all that other amazing stuff where we get to do things like open a bunch of product for the set and show it to all of you so you can live vicariously through us, or play a 9.5-hour stream where we played Lorwyn Eclipsed thanks to Wizards of the Coast. Whatever the case may be, if you want to thank us for that and support us in that way, you can check out our Patreon down below as well. If you're looking for a free way to support us, because trust me, we get it. The world is a crazy place right now and kind of has been for a while, unfortunately. We get it. There are no hard feelings whatsoever, but please don't forget that here on YouTube, likes and shares go a very long way. It does really mean a lot if you are interested in supporting us further, and we'd love it if you'd come join us on stream. If you like Magic the Gathering, we're live every Monday playing Magic Monday, playing some MTG Arena. That's at 8 p.m. Eastern here on this channel. And then on Fridays, typically, this week we were a little busy Friday, because that's where I am right now. But usually on Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern over on Video Games for All, we are live as well. In fact, the Friday after this video comes out, we will be live on that channel playing some Fallout 1. So you should definitely go check it out. Thank you all so very much for being here. I really hope everybody enjoyed. Thank you to Champion for having us, as they do for all of these pre-releases. It really is an absolute treat to be able to be here among the community, as well as all the amazing staff, etc. If you end up down at Champion, if it's for a pre-release, you should come say hi. We'd love to see you. But whether it is or isn't, definitely let them know that Geek for All sent you. And so, for now, from us here at the Geek for All family of channels, I have been Joe, and as we always say, in whichever video of ours you watch next, we will see you all next time. Thanks, everybody.